Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're doing some homemade pickling with some fresh cucumbers, dill, and jalapenos from the garden. It's something you can do fairly easy. These are just going to be refrigerator pickles, nothing you can store in a cabinet or anything at room temperature. They have to go in the fridge. They'll last 2 to 3 months, which usually they're gone before then. But it's a very quick, easy recipe, and it's something you can use to utilize extra vegetables from your garden. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how I do it. So as part of today's video, I'll give you a little tour of the garden. It is booming. It's actually the best garden I've ever grown in 20 plus years. We're going to be doing some pickling today, making homemade pickles from the cucumbers. You can see in here we have a bunch grown. I've already picked a whole bunch. They kind of hide on you if you're new to gardening. You have to kind of search through the plants to find them. There's another one hiding down there. There's quite a few growing. I picked a whole bunch, like I said, and those will be used for the pickling later. There's a couple more growing, and there's some more down there. Got the tomatoes and the eggplant coming along. Great. Picked a few of those already. Here's some shishito peppers, some bell peppers, jalapenos, everything else, but today we're just going to focus on the cucumbers to make the pickles, so stay tuned. Step number 1. Boil a pot of fresh water. Take your pickling jars and place them in the water for a minute or two each side, and just rotate them just to sterilize them. Okay, so after the last of your jars are sterilized, just turn them over a couple minutes on each side. Just take them out, drain them, and put them off to the side. Get ready to cut up all your ingredients. Alright, next you're going to make your brine, and this is all going to be personal preference, however you like the taste. More vinegar, less vinegar, more salt, less salt. In here I have 2 quarts, 8 cups of water. I got my white vinegar here. I'm going to start with about 6 cups of vinegar, maybe 7. And I'll taste the brine after it comes to a boil, see if I want a little bit more vinegar, a little bit more water. This is all personal preference. Once you dial in your recipe, you can save it and use what you like. I usually like a 1-to-1 ratio, or maybe just a little bit more water. So I'm going to add this in and bring it to a boil. Now while the brine is coming up to a boil, we'll go over the ingredients that I'm using today. These are just going to be basic, like garlic dill pickles. So I just have fresh dill from the garden, some chopped fresh garlic, some whole black peppercorns, and some mustard seed. That'll be the only ingredients in this with the brine. Next, you got to decide whether you want to do chips or spears. I'm going to do some of both. If you're going to do spears, take your cucumber and measure it. You want your pickles to stop right about just a bit below the threaded line on the cap, and then cut your cucumber to that length, and then make your spears. So here's an example of the chips. I like to cut them maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 inch thick, but it's all personal preference. If you like them thicker, cut them thicker. If you like them thinner, down thinner. And here's some spears that I cut, and you can see, because I measured them, pre-measured them, they're gonna fit perfect in the canning jars. All right, next you're gonna wanna add some of your seasonings to the jar. I have a small amount of peppercorns here. I'll put them in. Gonna add some of the mustard seed. And then small little handful of the garlic. The dill I'll put in between the spears when I put them in, and kind of layer it with the chips when I put them in. This is what it looks like so far. I'll be adding more as I put the cucumbers in, but I always start with a base. All right, so here's the spears with everything added in. You can see the peppercorns, the mustard seed, the garlic on the bottom, and you can see the dill. I put a lot of it on the sides here, a lot of it stuffed down in between. You can see it there. Now the brine just came to a boil. I tasted it and I added another cup of water. So I did pretty much exactly a 1-to-1 ratio. For every cup of vinegar, I did a cup of water, but that's all personal preference, and so are the seasonings. If you like more dill and garlic, add it. If you like less, don't add as much. So now I'm gonna fill this to the top, just under the threads, covering the pickles with the brine, and then seal it up. Here's your finished product. Spears, chips. They're really hot after adding the brine to them, so I let them cool off a little bit. These are just gonna be refrigerator pickles, meaning you can't really store them in a cabinet or anything, or a cupboard. They're gonna last probably 2 to 3 months in the fridge, because they're not technically canned and sealed. That's a different process, but these will last plenty long in the fridge, and they come out fantastic. I recommend a minimum 24 hours before you open them and eat them. Let them soak in the brine. 2 days is better, 3 days is better. You know, the longer, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, they'll be even better. But you can eat them after 24 hours, and they will last around 2 to 3 months. So it's a quick, easy way to pickle some extra cucumbers from the garden, make homemade pickles, and they come out great. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a try and let me know what you think. Thanks, everyone.